or the Ravens to go 2 for 2 in the Super Bowl. The brothers, John and Jim Harbaugh, we may never see this again until next year when these teams get back. And so, early on, opening drive for the Ravens. Joe Flacco to Torrey Smith. 20 yards, and that's what he can do, go deep and go right. So 3rd and 4 in the drive. Flacco will float it, and Anquan Bolden behind 4 Niners catches a 13-yard touchdown, 7-0.
3rd down conversions for touchdowns. Absolutely, they tested the middle of the field to play before. They go back to it. Anquan Bolden, to your point, Tommy, made all the big catches.
So young Colin Kaepernick making only his 10th start. Kaepernick to Michael Crabtree, a gain of 19. And so with the game beyond here, very early on, 2nd and 3rd, Frank Gore makes a move. It's a 5-yard run for a first down as Ray Lewis missed one.
Well, we didn't hear a lot from Ray Lewis early on in this football game and maybe through the 3rd quarter, but it did make some plays late.
Now Colin Kaepernick to Vernon Davis, and both he and Ed Reed looked like they were hurt on the play. Davis actually came out. Couple plays later, 2nd and goal. Kaepernick flush out of the pocket and the ball off the hands of Crabtree. He was open, but no.
I think that Colin was throwing this to Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was open at the back of the end zone.
And then the big play, Paul Kruger. Big plays, Ravens. This was one of them, a sack. San Francisco looked like they were rolling. They settled for an Akers field goal. Who was, well, everyone was on edge when he kicked it, but it was good, 7-3. Then Joe Flacco, he moved pretty well, Steve.
He moved and threw the ball from all over the field. He was backing up earlier. Now he's running the sidelines, making a great throw. Joe Flacco, well, you know, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick this whole week is the only guy that can move around. Joe Flacco moved all over the field to throw that football.
3rd and 13, a few plays later, and now Ray McDonald has a sack. E-I-E-I-O, it's a loss of 5. The 1st quarter is over, and it's 7-3. So now here's San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick to Vernon Davis. It's 29 yards. First down, Niners. LaMichael James makes a move. He broke 1, 2, 3, but maybe shouldn't have broken a 4th tackle because the ball came out and Arthur Jones recovers it.
You know, we talked about big stages, young players, rookies. Here's a guy that's been a great spark plug for this football team, but on the big stage, the young players are the ones that turn the football over. Colin Kaepernick will in just a minute.
So now Flacco to Ed Dixon. And boy, they threw the ball in traffic, but the Niners had trouble covering, and the Ravens made many a big catch, and that was a face mask added on by Dante Whitner. And then, there it is. That was Dixon first. This is the Dixon play.
And that's the face mask right there that cost him half the distance.
And there it is to pin it for the touchdown. It's 14-3.
I thought that the lack of contact down in the red zone where you allow people to run to spots, Anquan Bolden did it, Pitta did it there, without being touched by the defense, you make things easy for the quarterback.
At this point, Colin Kaepernick looked like a gentleman making his 10th start at QB. The ball sailed. Ed Reed was playing center field, and the veteran Reed, in his hometown and home state, Louisiana, returns it to the 38-yard line, and then even both teams got into it. There were dual personal fouls. The coaches got on the field. That's enough, fellas.
I thought it was kind of funny because it just reminded me of the Harbaugh boys in their bedroom, right? It's very, I mean, I don't think there was much harm in it. But here's the big, I mean, Colin Kaepernick early did start to feel, I mean, you sense that he was rattled. It was a 10th game. You got to say, at some point that's got to show up, and now obviously he turns the corner here shortly.
Ed Reed's 9th pick, postseason, tied for the postseason record. Flacco short to Ray Rice, 7 yards and a first down. Boy, Ray Rice did not mind being the workhorse running and receiving. 3rd and 9, Flacco overthrows to Torrey Smith, and the Ravens then line up for a field goal, but they're going to make it a 14-point game at 17-3. Uh-oh, it's a fake. And Justin Tucker, the rookie's going to run and not quite get it. A head-scratching gamble.
I think I think John was thinking it's a knifing blow.
Yes.
You know, just something that's going to put this team on their back. A young quarterback looking like he was starting to get flustered. Let's put it, not put it away, but put it some distance. A big risk, no question.
So the Ravens turn it over on downs, but they force a 3 and out on Flacco to Jacoby Jones. And not only does he make the catch, this will not go as a turnover in the books, but 2 missed tackles and a touchdown of 56 yards.
When you realize that a team really profits off the deep ball the way they do, and you watch this little double move right there, again, I believe that you have to make contact at the line of scrimmage. Help has to be where it's supposed to be. This blow right here, I thought this was the kill shot.
I really did. I thought we've seen the 49er defense back end of it. The safeties and corners get exposed here towards the last month and a half. And certainly Joe Flacco blew that open.
21-3. So Kaepernick to Delaney Walker now with under 2 minutes to go. They want to get something. Paul Kruger again comes up big here as they really corralled Kaepernick's running lane, didn't they?
And then you get a sense of what, they're not only the inexperience, but just this indecision. You can see Collins should have turned up and made this first down. As a young kid, put your head in, you know where the yardage markers is. And I think he might have gotten lost on that, and that cost them a first down.
But they get a field goal and maybe something on the board to get started in the second half, although the Ravens are going to get the ball. After a half an hour halftime show with Beyonce and company, Jim Harbaugh figures let's pin him deep and see if we can get the defense going. But it was anything but. It was a good kick by Akers, but 8 yard deep. The Pro Bowl return man, Jacoby Jones. And he could go all the way. The longest scoring play in Super Bowl history, of course. 108 yards. It's over. It's 28-3.
Outstanding blocking by the Ravens, suspect coverage by the 49ers. You get a great return man like Jacoby Jones. This is the result. And I thought this might be the kill shot by the Ravens.
And Jones doing the Ray Lewis and Jim Harbaugh can't believe they're down 28-6. My goodness, we came all the way.
Was on a roll. The
49ers they just sacked Colin Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
They were flat on their back.
Absolutely.
And it really took the air out of the game. So that momentum that you had, it literally just got taken away.
So they did resume, and of course they got to stop. But then here come the 49ers. Second drive after delay. Niners got stopped. They punted, but they get the ball back. Colin Kaepernick, he ran it, he threw it. That's Vernon Davis down to the 31. But they're down 28-6. They need a miracle. Kaepernick, Crabtree, breaks a couple of tackles. Okay, in the 7th quarter, Jim's team scores on John's team a touchdown.
And
this
was the 49ers know how explosive they are. They've shown it last week. 2 weeks ago, they showed it against Green Bay. They sensed it here, and then they really felt it when they had to shake the punt here in the next play.
So now here's the punt by Sam Cook. And watch Teddy Ginn. He's dangerous. And the Niners are in business all of a sudden, just like that. We got 6 minutes left in the third quarter. There's plenty of time. And Kaepernick gets it to Frank Gore. And bang, we have ourselves a one-score game. It's 28-20.
Tremendous ingenuity in some of this play calling. And that's when you got a sense that even Greg Roman, offensive coordinator for the 49ers, started to relax and just said, let me open up my playbook, and it really did show.
Now to Ray Rice, and it's the first Ravens.
Come out, defender realized it was out, turn around, great play to get it back.
So David Akers, 39-yard field goal is no good after the Ravens make a stand, whatever, running into the kicker.
You know what? You hope that the angle of the head referee was in front of him so he could not tell the fact that he literally never got touched.
Well, they got a huge break because the re-kick was good. A 34-yard field goal. It's 28-23. Flacco to Bolden on 3rd and 3 with the game all of a sudden going away big time. Joe Flacco steps up again, fellas.
And he started to turn. This was where the game seemed like it was going to get run over by the 49ers. And big runs and big throws. I think the Ravens showed tremendous resiliency to come back.
That's Bernard Pierce, who on 3rd and 1 had a huge bounce out for 8 yards. Now in the 4th quarter, Ray Rice up the middle from the 1 is stuffed for no gain. So 3rd and goal with the Ravens trying to knock back up to a 2-score game. The rush is on. Flacco does a good job getting out of there, but he's hit out of bounds, by the way. There was no call. Could have been.
Yeah, there could have been a call. There was a few calls during the course of this game that weren't made. I like the fact that the officials, for the most part, let them play this football game.
But the big news is the Niners held them to a field goal, and it's still one score, 31-23. Kaepernick to Randy Moss, looking for his first Super Bowl ring and perhaps his final game. First down, Niners. Now, this goes so fast, fellas. Here goes Frank Gore. And that's a 21-yard pickup, and look at him find the space outside. And now the youth of the Niners against the experience, if you will, of the Ravens really shining through.
And you thought the age of the Ravens would show up here to their detriment, and that the young 49ers would take control, and they did, and that's why the resilience of the team really showed in the long
And that looks
run.
like Kaepernick, Steve, in the Green Bay game he was in. This drive happened before he even turned around.
Colin Kaepernick felt the open rusher and immediately responded the other direction, and the defense just can't respond back.
So now the Niners go for 2. They do not get it. You understood it.
But it looked like there was a number of miscommunications. A lot of balls were snapped at going to 0. A lot of times Colin looked at the other receivers. That's unlike what I've seen the last few weeks.
So with the lead, it's 31-29, but now Navarro, Bowman, and the Niners defense say if we can get a stop, we're about to win. So on 3rd and 9, Flacco to Torrey Smith with the good coverage. It's incomplete, but pass interference, Chris Culliver.
Another call where, to my eye, it looks like you wish you would have let him play.
So Ravens keep the drive going. And Quan Bolden, boy, it seems like the better the coverage, the more he wants the ball, right?
And Joe Flacco trusts him so much. When that ball, to me, when that ball comes out of Joe's hand, Joe's mind's got to say, hey, it's 50-50. When I call Bolden, it's 100-0, right?
That's correct.
John Harbaugh says, you know what? That's Ravens football. And so is this. Ray Rice, 12 yards, running left, and that's another Raven first down. Flacco, incomplete, but a flag on the play. The Niners, Jim Harbaugh going nuts, but the flag went right away. They called it offside.
Well, I thought that one was actually an obvious offside.
That was very obvious.
Like a couple of people
He's mad at his own
offside.
players there, I think.
Flacco to Dennis Pitta. He can't hang on. A good throw, but the sure-handed tight end in coverage didn't do it. There's Whitner, 4th down Ravens, and the young kicker, bang. The ball just sounds loud. It's like a Dustin Johnson drive off of his foot. He splits the upright, 34-29, but once upon a time, the Niners began a drive with just over 4 minutes to go to begin their quest for greatness.
It felt like it was happening again.
You
no
know what
question.
I'm talking about, the catch game. So it was 4:19 this drive started. Kaepernick running. Kaepernick throwing. Vernon Davis can't quite lay out to get it. So now 2nd and 10 with under 3.5 to go. Plenty of time, Kaepernick here. The zing to Michael Crabtree. Ray Lewis down the field helps on the stop. Niner first down, 24-yard pickup. Frank Gore bouncing left. Man, there's no one. Ed Reed can't even get him. Finally knocked out by Ellerby, 33 yards. First down Niners and way in the red zone. 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 5. Kaepernick, time to Crabtree. He's covered, incomplete.
This whole series felt like there's a timeout that had to be used. This whole series felt like it didn't use the full measure of what the 49ers could be.
So that's now 3rd down, and Crabtree was broken up by Jimmy Smith there. He was going to be shy of the end zone anyway. So now, 4th and goal. Could the Ravens make a stand? The loft. And it's just nowhere near Crabtree. Jim Harbaugh wants holding, but the Ravens in the end make a defensive stand.
I mean, it doesn't even look like the two of them are running the same thing.
Well, you know, I can't stand the fade of the end zone for the game when you've got such a huge playbook and so many dynamic players. It just, I mean, it takes 10 guys off of the field. So, I mean, look, you got to make a call. It didn't work, and now you got to just second guess it, I guess.
So now the Ravens, can they run it out? Not quite. The final timeout is used after a handoff to Rice with just seconds left. 11 seconds. Sam Cook takes some time.
Oh, there's
takes some
the
time.
hole.
Takes some time. Takes some time to get out. So now there's a safety. We go to 34-31 with 4 seconds left. The game is going to end on a punt off, if you will, and a Ted Ginn miracle, hopefully for the Niners. Would it be a Ginn fizz? That's asking a lot. And there it is, right in front of the coach's box at midfield. Joe Flacco. Ravens, a great moment between the brothers, John and Jim. But the Baltimore Ravens open up a 22-point lead. And the Ravens withstand the Niners' onslaught. The Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis's final game. Joe Flacco has won another postseason playoff game. He's 9-4. The trophy, the Lombardi Trophy, Hall of Famer Richard Dent doing the presenting. And the Ravens, they go to Denver as a 9-point underdog. They win. O.J. Brigance, beautiful scene. They go to New England as a 9.5-point underdog. They win. And they come to the Super Bowl as an underdog of 4 points against the 49ers, and they win. Emotion, togetherness, and a story that'll be told for a long time